New England gardening here, doing some maintenance on my blueberry bushes, cleaning up the beds. See the bumblebees doing their job. That's about the only bee I've seen so far this year consistently are the bumblebees. Don't really see any honeybees. The flowers are just starting to drop off these blueberries here after being pollinated. You can see on this blueberry bush here, after the flower drops off, you're left with the portion here that will develop into a blueberry. So it looks like I'm going to have a lot of blueberries this year. So I've picked out all the weeds and I've repurposed some pine bark mulch that I had in another area. So this will help acidify the soil and keep the weeds down and keep the beds moist. Well, at least help them from drying out too quickly. You can see all the flowers dropping off onto the top of the mulch here. I removed the bird netting because the bumblebees are having a hard time getting in and out. They're really beating up their wings, getting in and out of the bird netting. And these varieties here seem to be at the peak of their flowering. I wanted to get all these flowers pollinated without making it too difficult for the bees to get at. But I think what I'm going to do is also get some peat moss, put some peat moss down. Blueberries like acidic soil between 4.5 5.5 pH. So peat is a good way to acidify the soil. It's a little bit more expensive. Pine needles. So blueberry bushes like acidic soil. And these are some of the products here. This product here is something that, although it's good for your hydrangeas, turning them blue, it's not a good idea to use this to acidify the soil for your blueberry bushes. And if you might remember when you had to memorize the elements, the chemistry elements, and then they would break them off into groups, and I think this is one of the aluminum was one of the groups of heavy metals, so it's probably not a good idea to use this for acidifying. There are more natural products. This here is a soil acidifier. It says for organic gardening, safer than aluminum sulfate, and it can also be used to turn your hydrangeas blue. It's also a polytone for acid-loving plants, rich in natural organics. This too can help acidify the soil. So I'm going to just work these into the soil, the top layer, and just let the watering bring them down to the roots. So I did have a little bit of peat moss sitting around. So I put it on this bed. I'm going to work it in. And then put the pine bark mulch on top of this. So this is New England Gardening, doing some much needed maintenance to my blueberry beds. Thanks for watching.